Hello, everybody. Wayne Klug here. I'm a business owner, the founder and CEO of Spectrum Technology Solutions in Scottsdale, Arizona. Reaching out through this video, I want to help maybe with some misinformation that's out there in the business community, specifically around what funding options are available to businesses during this COVID-19 crisis that we're all in. Some businesses certainly being impacted more than others. I'll tell you that uh, mine has taken a pretty good hit here just over the past week or two, and unfortunately, I believe it's going to get worse before it gets better. And so, it's important to me that I'm doing whatever I can to help my clients through this situation, who are small businesses themselves, and to help as best I can to help my employees make it through this situation as well. And so, fortunately, we're in a really good spot with regards to the way the federal government's stepping in to help small businesses at this time. So, last Friday, which was the 27th of March, um, the federal government and President Trump authorized a $2 trillion stimulus package. I'm sure you all have heard of this. If you haven't, unless you've got your head stuck in the sand, you know that this passed. And there's some really good help for small businesses in here in the form of a $350 billion uh, what's being called the Paycheck Protection Program. So there's really two primary options that are available for small businesses today through the SBA. They include an economic injury disaster loan and the Paycheck Protection Program. Um, for many people, the Paycheck Protection Program is going to be probably the better fit of the two. And the reasoning behind that is there's more funding available. There's $350 billion opened up for the Paycheck Protection Program, where the Economic Injury Disaster Loan has $50 billion opened up to it. The Paycheck Protection Program is aimed at keeping people employed, at at having paychecks issued, enabling consumer spending, and really just keeping our economy moving. So what's really fantastic about the Paycheck Protection Program is um, there's no personal guarantee required of the business owner. There's no collateral that you have to put up, and the eligible amount that you receive is completely forgiven if you are using those funds for payroll, for rent and mortgage, interest, and utilities and other similar items. So, in large part, the federal government stepping in to cover our payroll cost for what could be about a 10-week period of time, roughly. So, really fantastic. I'm going to focus the video on the Paycheck Protection Program. There's a lot of misinformation that's out there right now, and frankly, not all the details are available to anyone. The SBA is producing guidance for banks so that they can start helping us through this. But I've been having daily calls with folks on my network to get an understanding as to what's coming out. A lot of it's been speculation up to a certain point, but now we're starting to get real details out. And so I want to share what I know about this to help other business owners that might be kind of struggling making sense of what the guidelines are and what the process is. So, Paycheck Protection Program. A couple things to kind of run through with this is it's available to businesses that have 500 or less employees. A big part of it's going to be forgivable loans, as I mentioned, and really the way that it works is you're going to have to calculate out your average monthly payroll for the prior 12 months leading up to the disaster. So for me, I'm calculating out April of 2019 to March 31st of 2020, and what's my average payroll over those 12 months. You take that amount, which can also include contractors within the United States, and then you multiply that times 2.5. So for the sake of easy math, suppose your payroll costs are average out monthly to $100,000. You'll get a $250,000 loan through the SBA. And every dollar that you use of that to help cover payroll costs, mortgage, interest, rent, and utility costs over an 8-week period, once you have received funding from the loan, all of those dollars spent will be forgiven. Now, right now, the SBA is still issuing guidance to banks on how to work this. You're going to work directly with your bank to get the application in and to get the funding instead of going through the traditional SBA process to do that. Right now, banks are kind of mobilizing, and the SBA is helping them understand what they need to do with this. But it looks like by April 3rd, 2 days from now on Friday, banks will start taking applications. And what's really fantastic about this, and compared to the economic injury disaster loan, is that funding should happen very quickly. I've seen and read anything from maybe within a week or so you can get funding, even down to might be even same day funding. So really rapidly getting dollars in the hands of businesses to be able to continue taking care of their employees and meeting payroll, where many of us have had revenue dry up or accounts receivable age. Um, this can come at a really much needed time for many businesses that might enable them to survive through this crisis. So couple things to kind of look at with this is and to prepare yourself for the understanding that I have from my bank. So you can there's an application that's available. You can start completing that right now. Um, Number one. Number two is to start your supporting documentation. So you need to get payroll reports gathered that include gross wages, paid time off, vacation pay, family medical leave, and state and local taxes, payroll taxes that are paid. So gather that documentation. You're going to need documentation on the cost of a total amount of premiums for group health care that you're offering to your employees for that same period of time, 12-month period of time. Documentation of any retirement plan that's funding that's been paid by the company for 401ks or IRAs, for example. You're going to have to gather your quarterly payroll tax reports, and then also any 1099s that you've issued to independent contractors for 2019. So start gathering that information, be ready, because one of the things I'm really concerned about with this is that although $350 billion is a lot of businesses, frankly, that money is going to go very quickly. And so I've done some math here that I want to share with you to help kind of maybe with the urgency of the situation for you. And really, I'm doing this because um, I'm doing this video for those in my network to help them understand you may not need the cash today. You might be in a good cash position, but you don't want to wait until you need it to be able to apply for this, because you might find yourself in a place where by then the funds have dried up. And I think that's going to happen really quickly. And really what I'm basing that on is some calculations I've done here. So, um, the Paycheck Protection Program is available for businesses that have less than 500 employees, and in the United States, that's 5.8 million businesses that fall in that category. Now, 88% of those businesses, on average, have about 20 employees. The average salary is $45,857 annually. And so really, if we just do like a quick formula and do some math here, 5.8 million businesses times 88% times 20 employees, and let's multiply that out by the 2.5 factor, the eligibility amount that you get under the SBA. 2.5 months at $45,857 divided by 12, right? So really what we come to is that we need, really, if every business and nonprofit that's for this funding applied and sought out the funding that they're able to get through this, we would need $975 billion allocated it. And so the $350 billion just is, while it's a big help, it's going to run out real quick. So I urge you, get your preparation done, some of which I've outlined here. Get engaged with your bank if you haven't already. Be ready to roll on April 3rd when they start taking applications and start rolling through this, because the funds are going to go quickly, and many of us are in a place where we've been impacted. I'll tell you, in my business over the past week or two, it's gotten worse, almost every day. And so, but we're strong. We're Americans. We're resourceful. We're innovative. We really just need to work together as business leaders to help those in our networks get through this, to help our employees. We're going to come out of this stronger. I feel really good about that. That as Americans, we're going to pull together and learn a lot through this. Probably get a lot more efficient in our businesses, and ultimately come out of this in a way that can can help us recover quickly and stronger than ever before. So hopefully this was helpful for all of you. If you have a different understanding of anything that I've shared here, I welcome that. I'm not, although I've been studying this every day for the past few weeks and working diligently with those in my network to understand it, I'm not a expert in this. I'm just an informed business owner. And if you know something different, please share it with me so that I can get cleared up and get engaged with your bank. We're going to get through this. Stay strong, stay healthy, and feel free to reach out if there's anything I can do to help.